These tiny mineral grains are the seeds of a new rocky planet. Over time, they start to stick together.
You'd have one dust molecule and another dust molecule, and they would basically slam into each other and become one slightly bigger dust molecule. And they would pick up more and more and more. This process is called accretion. As these things got bigger, they became basically rocks.
Then, rocks slam into other rocks and form boulders. Boulders smash together to form bigger boulders.
Eventually, you got something big enough that its gravity was strong enough that it could start drawing material in. So instead of just slamming into material and gaining mass that way, it was actually actively pulling material in.
In our own solar system, there were many growing infant planets at first, maybe 100. Most of them didn't make it.
If you go to the asteroid belt and look at the asteroid 4 Vesta, that is a good indicator of how big a rocky planet has to be before it can pull itself into a spherical shape.
Vesta is only 329 miles across. Not quite big enough to become a sphere. For a growing planet to become round, it has to reach 500 miles across. Then it has enough gravity to crush it into a sphere. Any smaller, and it stays an irregular shape. As round infant planets keep eating up stuff, each collision makes them hotter and hotter until they start to melt. Now, gravity begins to separate the heavy stuff from the light.
Lighter materials tend to float up into a crusty film, and the heavier materials, many of the metals, falling down and forming a much denser core at the center of the planet.
The young planets are finally beginning to look like planets. But now, they have to survive a period of violence and destruction. A brutal phase that determines which planets will live and which planets will die.